Hi Tanuja ma'am. Hi Deepthi ma'am. Hi Usha ma'am. Hi Sharmila.
Good morning, everyone.
Happy morning, everyone.
We'll just wait for a minute and then we'll be starting. Usha ma'am, your video is missing. Usha ma'am, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi ma'am.
Hi. Hello, all the fellow panelists.
Hello. Hi, ma'am. Good to have you.
Hi, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am. I think we are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Bright Talks episode 2. In episode 1, we spoke about next generation of entrepreneurs. How can we nurture them, and why and how we can nurture the next generation entrepreneurs. So we had a very interesting debate there. We spoke about how NEP has come in, and also we also discussed on the best practices of, how can we nurture them. We spoke about how every school can be a skill hub, and how can we invite the students there, and how can organizations like say BrightCHAMPS can actually come into picture and nurture the innovators. But we left with one question there. From that discussion only, we've got another topic for today's Bright Talks episode, which is early entrepreneurial and financial education. What are the best practices and challenges? Right. In fact, we wanted to talk about what can be the challenges while we are teaching entrepreneurial skills or financial literacy skills, and the role of a parent, the role of the schools, and role of the government is something that we wanted to kind of debate on. For that, I have brought in amazing panelists where I have interacted with you earlier on this. We have Dr. Sharmila Mallick Choudhary from the Global Indian International School. And we have Tanuja ma'am, where we've been working closely. In fact, we have started Innovation Cell recently with them from Pallavi School, Boduppal in Hyderabad. We have Ms. Deepthi Madhu ma'am from Samsid Schools, and we have Usha Iyer ma'am from the Green School, Bangalore. I've interacted with you in different forums earlier, but today I have come with a new brand called the Bright Talks. Earlier, I used to run a company called Metamorphosis, which has been now acquired by BrightCHAMPS. Now I'm heading the entire B2B business at BrightCHAMPS. Welcome to you all. Thank you so much for accepting the invite and joining today. So I'll keep this very candid and also informal, and then we'll have a lot of Q&As. We have people watching live on YouTube and also other channels of BrightCHAMPS. So we'll start with a very basic question, right? I mean, I wanted to start with how soon is too soon in introducing financial education or financial literacy for kids, after looking at CBSE mandating few skills where financial literacy is also there. They're trying to mandate this. But how soon is too soon? Because this is one common question from the parents that we see, that we hear. I'll open the panel. I'll start with Tanuja ma'am. Your thoughts on this. How soon is too soon?
Thank you, Pawan. Good morning, everyone. See, having seen the curriculum by NCFE from grade 6 to 10, and the way structured it is, right from the evolution of money. And I think for the first time, we have all the financial institutions coming one board to take this across. That's actually, firstly, a very great move. And if you see the way the curriculum is structured with evolution of money, with need for borrowing and making students understand about RBI and also about insurance. So, it gives us a feel good factor that by the time the child leaves grade 10, well, he's going to be the bigger, going to the bigger world with a kind of knowledge about how to charge, or is he in a comfortable position to take charge of his financial future. So I think it's not a standalone skill that we have to execute. When we integrate it with other subjects, I think, say when you're doing a simple interest, how to kind of make students understand that tomorrow when you go for a further study, how does it going to work out for you? So when we integrate it with different subjects, I feel from 6 onwards, it really makes sense. But then lower grades also. Just to share one example with you, in the summer camp, we are having a child who's doing a mini chef program. So this coming weekend, she is going to set up her own stall and then sell her sandwiches and other things. So for the first time, a child is kind of getting to know how to receive money, how to manage money, and okay, what next? So I think it can be kindled, that interest can be kindled through activities. And the child, just to give you a heads up, is in grade 4. So I think we can do it with different activities from grade 3, grade 4 itself.
Right. So you endorse that, we should impart this kind of, skills little early, because slowly the students are getting exposed to kind of selling, kind of receiving money, and these things are there. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that case study. And Usha, ma'am, coming to you, I think last time also in Bangalore, we have discussed on a similar topic on, say, entrepreneurship, but on the financial literacy, especially, right? I mean, how do we keep the things on a very disciplined way for children, right? I mean, say how we structure mathematics, physics and all, we have very disciplined way of teaching them or imparting the skills. But for financial literacy, there is no defined structure to kind of impart. So any best challenges, best practices that you give while we are imparting these financial literacy skills?
Yeah. So I think Metamorphosis joining with the BrightCHAMPS is the best thing what you have done, because now you got a broader spectrum, talking about not only financial literacy but also of the coding and the robotics. So congratulations for that, Mr. Pavan. Anyway, coming back to question what you had asked me, like, what do you say? You said something. What do you say?
Practices in imparting, right? I mean, how do we?
Structure. Yeah. So let me first throw a light on how the financial literacy, our school is doing it, because basically, as I told you before, also I've come on the panel of your panel, and I talked about our school, that we are a sustainable school. We are a UNESCO complacent school, which follows the UN SDG goals. So we work on that. So for us, financial literacy is like part of it, because money management, and we call it about economic management. Right. So economic, talking about financial literacy, economic management. So this we teach them, they teach them right from the grade 1. It's like that. So under the Young Entrepreneur Program or something like that, what we have started in our school way back, about 4 or 5 years back. This is much before the NEP or, talking about national education policy or anything. We believed in this kind of a thing of internship, not only after the grade 8, taking a break after the 11, 12, nothing like that, Pavanji. But we have been doing that right from the grade 1. Children have been interning, whether it's in cafeteria, whether it's going to be, we have something called hydroponic farms. So they intern there. And so it's not only the growing vegetables only for us to be sufficient and self-sustaining, but also to make them understand that if it's like grow more, then you can even sell it. And that's where the aspect of the money management comes into picture. So anything which is to be taught, I don't know why the CBSE puts everything in structure. They say that if it's coding, let it be taught from grade 3, and let it be like a part of curriculum. Let it start getting, getting mark it and give marks to it or grade to it, or whether it's going to be robotic, let it start from grade 3, let it be structured. Why it cannot be unstructured is my question. So if it's unstructured, what happens? Children have fun with it. It's more of fun. So it can be incorporated across, as you said, Pavanji, that we can incorporate it across and streamline it across the subjects. It can be part of math, it can be part of science, it can be part of English, it can be part of everything. Us being a STEAM school, so for us, all this thing is a part of it. It's an integrated curriculum. We talk about seamlessly integrating subjects. So for us, financial literacy has never been taught as a subject. It's never been as taught as like economic management or money management as a part of a summer camp program, or it is as like a subject. It's been a part of the math thing. It's been a part of, like, for example, in a math class, we'd have a math workshop in a math corner where children do, they play shop. And then they buy things and sell and stuff like this, and use a lot of artificial money. So this money management thing has helped us a lot in teaching them the concepts as well. So today NEP talking about the concept has to be taught and stuff like this. I'd say schools like ours have been doing concept-oriented teaching for last couple of years, my preschool as well, before we started the bigger campus. So it's never been like structured that way, But yes, as they're going to be putting it as part of the school, curriculum and structure it, they definitely, I'm sure about it, that they'll come with gamification, they'll come with board games. What we're using it as an unstructured way, same thing is going to happen here also. But I think it'll be more on a structured way. So I don't know. That is how I think that you people are offering it, right? So
Right.
BrightCHAMPS is offering, right? So
BrightCHAMPS is offering that.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, carrying forward to your, take on, even if it's unstructured, the learning is amazing for the students and it's anyways experiential for them. So Sharmila ma'am, I just wanted to know,
Yes.
if it's kind of say unstructured or even if it's a experiential, what could be the best practice in terms of measuring the learning outcome, right? I mean, especially for financial literacy, how can we say that, say, the child or the children have, gained these literacy skills? So is there any best practice that you suggest?
Financial literacy is definitely very important for a child from the grassroots level, maybe from the primary level, because, the knowledge of the managing the money, the budget management, the credit management, even the financial risk of the business operations. So nobody can learn at a later stage. So, through experiential learning, if the money lending, money receiving, money taking, as my previous panel members said, from early grades, if they are taught through projects, that is one of the best practice, which we also do in our schools. They set up a stall and something, a jute bag or a paper bag, or, cooking without fire, they have made something and they are asked to sell. So value of the product, the value of the time, the value of the energy that is gone in making, they learn that. And when they're doing the buying and selling, they learn the basic operations. What is also needed for the child is, the good financial behavior, the financial experience, and then looking for their choices, understanding the factors that will affect their salaries later in their career. So, the identifying their sources of income and how financial literacy affects the lifestyle, the sustainability to sustain in the world is very, very important. So that, it becomes difficult when somebody learns at a later stage. But when somebody takes it from their primary classes, analyzing finance, evaluating finance, the basic calculations through experience and learning, I feel that is the best way and the best practice a child can learn and be financially literate. See, there cannot be an unorganized learning because, yes, there is no structured curriculum. The curriculum can be just the projects, the assignments, the small projects which every school is doing. which can be, made compulsory at the primary grades. And that's how, it leads to entrepreneurship also. That leads to entrepreneurship education also. I think that answers.
Yes, yes. Right. So, I mean, so are you fond of, giving grades for the financial literacy as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
There should be grades, and the ability to learn and how much a child has learned should be assessed. And we always say the child learns best when they are practicing, learning by doing.
Right.
So that should be the best practice that every school must adopt. And as my previous panel member mentioned of the UN SDG goals, so we also follow that. We are also a sustainable school, and we do carry on projects and assignments from grade 3 onwards for UN SDG goals. Every child is supposed to do 3 projects in a year based on any one of the goal of their choice, and they are made to learn that in a group. So that makes them learn better, because finance management is also one of the part of the 17 SDG goals.
Right. Right. Interesting. Thank you, ma'am. I mean, I've got a good learning today on the grades for financial literacy. So Deepthi ma'am, so what is your take on, assigning grades for financial literacy, and how do we measure the learning outcomes there?
Yeah, thank you, Pavan, for that question. And I do agree that there is no pedagogical standards for teachers, to include the financial literacy in the curriculum. But we incorporate this in every aspects, as my earlier panel members told, Usha ma'am. No, it can be incorporated in every subject. It's not only in maths, it can be in science, it can be in sports, it can be in various other activities. So that is the way the children learn the financial literacy. For example, I would like to cite one example which had happened in our school. There are many. So a few years back, we had asked as a part of the max curriculum, learning for the primary level children, how to the computation and calculation skills. We have asked the children to bring whatever items they want to the school, and start a stuck shop kind of thing, where we called it as integrity canteen. Okay, so it was a method of doing by their own and calculating and giving money and taking the balance. So the children were learning it by their own. At the same time, as Samsit is a school which is believing the value system strongly, and that is why we have given the name integrity canteen. There were no teachers standing there, and the children were bringing the money, taking the product, and collecting the balance. And at the end of the day, when we counted, the correct amount of money was there in the box. So that is the thing. So the children know it, because if I also believe that in everywhere we need to standardize the thing. When we standardize the things and overly project it and make it more activity centered, it becomes it becomes very critical for the children. Their creativity will be snuffed. So, and again, as you asked me about the grades and other things, yes, I do agree. More than the providing them the grades and other thing, I believe in providing them more opportunities, exposures, especially the one which we have conducted in the February month, that is a hackathon.
Okay.
Event we have done. So the children are getting that kind of exposure. They are getting the motivation. Parents and other stakeholders are visiting the school and getting the appreciations and motivations. That is again more than any grades. This is the thing which the child require at this point of time for moving on and gaining the motivation. And also we have a plan to appreciate those young entrepreneurs as the school reopens, in the assembly in front of everybody, because they have done a commendable job. And that is why, more than restricting into the grades and the other system, I do believe in that. Okay, it should be integrated and it should be motivated by the school system, by the entire school leaders and the educators, so that the children will learn it and incorporate it in their learning, along with other curricular subjects.
Sure, ma'am. I think very interesting. I mean, very mixed reactions on whether we have to grade or not. I've been receiving some motion of questions here on my phone. So one of the questions that I got is, won't it be more fun if we are not grading students and making less stress-free and making learning stress-free? And can we judge the student only on certain domains and say that whether the student has excelled in learning in a specific skill? So Tanuja ma'am, because you have already seeing this, so if at all we are making this much more stress-free kind of subject into the school, uh, uh, what can be the best practice here in kind of measuring it?
Pawan, I strongly feel that we bring in these kinds of subjects. Honestly, our generation learn it seeing our parents and grandparents. Now, whatever we learned in the growing up times, we're bringing it as a curriculum for different
Right.
reasons.
Right.
So just to quote one example, I think
Right.
for all these things, we see what is the biggest life lesson that a child is taking.
Right.
And when we were dealing with this topic of insurance last year, my grade 9 students happened to meet a parent who came for asking for a fee waiver because she lost her husband 10 days before. The children were very surprised and then they asked, ma'am, doesn't she have an insurance? Doesn't the father have an insurance? And they were surprised to know that the parent did not have a term insurance or, and had not made any insurance policies for students.
Right.
A team of students from grade 9, they floated a Google form across the whole school, requested the parents to answer. Objective was to see, okay, we have 3,500 parents here in school, like 7,000 parents. How many of them have insured their life? And then the coming up PTM, they flashed those details to parents. And they said, today we stand in this place. These many parents are not insured. And they gave themselves 1 year time. They brought the, different insurance people on board. They raised an awareness. So, and then, now their target is this year end where they have to make the whole school, all parents insured.
Wow.
So, that instance will affect that instance, children learn that experience. So I think definitely action research is the key, making children part of everything. And definitely, I would say it cannot be graded because how this experience is taken by each child is going to be different. Maybe we can kind of have different activities involved in it where we can see how well they're interacting with parents and then writing an article for the magazine, trying to create awareness. Those are very important.
Got it. Thank you, ma'am. So we have brought in an important dimension of our conversation today is on the parenting, right, or the parents, right? So going back to Usha, ma'am. So in your experience, how do we create that awareness to the parents on financial literacy is important for children, right? I mean, when I generally teach entrepreneurship for children where there is financial model and all, the very first thing that they say is that, I mean, why are you exposing so much on profits, losses, and all for the children? Because I don't know where their direction might go, because the minute you speak about entrepreneurship, they think that this is for making money than creating an impact. So how do we balance that, right? I mean, the parent expectations versus the need of the hour on financial literacy versus the schools grading or not grading them. How do we bring everything under one roof?
In fact, hi. Yeah, it's a good thing which you have come up with. But for us, it's not been difficult, Pawan, because we are a design thinking school. And everything is, properly planned along with the parents. It's like that. Without parents, I mean, they are the main stakeholders. So we always have an orientation and we take the parents along with us. So whenever we talk about any of the social impact projects, which my school does, the community outreach programs and social impact, which again is related indirectly to the financial literacy and a young entrepreneur program. It's all connected, the entrepreneurship. So they know that yes, there are about so many couple of children. Not everybody will be doing jobs. There are many of them, like tomorrow we are talking about it, like if A plan doesn't work, will the B plan work? So we tell the parents that there should be always a B plan, because look at what happened during a pandemic. Everybody was so awestruck and saying they were never expecting this pandemic to happen.
Right.
And many of them lost jobs and they did not know what to do. And many of them, a few of them rather, they knew that, okay, I have got the skill of organic farming, and I can go back to organic farming and I can make money. It was like that. And many of them, they also felt that I have this talent of cooking, and they started putting cooking shows and stuff like this, and they made a lot of money out of it. So they started exploring their talents. So why that could not be done as a part of, they talk about SUPW, again, it's structured. They talk about so many other hobbies in school, again, it's structured. They talk about that extracurricular activity, it's structured. For us, it's never been like that. We tell the parents that these are the things which we promote, like we have carpentry, we've got sculpture. It can always be a B plan, that you can always be having that as a profession later, because if you're really good at it, it's like that. So what happens is it can also generate the money. So the parents know it, that tomorrow the children, if they want, if they have to become entrepreneur, it doesn't mean entrepreneur means only to doing their own business. Also that the skill sets which can also generate a kind of multiple. See, today people do not work on only one thing. They do multiple way of generating money, right? They know that, you know, this is money is not sufficient, that they do even a home gardening, they do an organic farm, they do this, and they do their jobs. The way my own daughter I'm talking about, she has a sustainable a fashion designer but apart from that, she also like works somewhere, she puts that money back into a business, and she does all that stuff. So they know how to juggle. Today's children are very brilliant, but we just have to shape them, give them a kind of a path, and say, this is what you are good at. So what we do is we have a little bit of structure in that. We need to identify the talent of the children, and then when we identify the talent of the children, we put them across and saying, hey, look, you're good at this organic farming, you're good at carpentry, you're good at this. So we divide them, and so forth, and so that, you know, they say that if you're not good in academician, you can become a best carpenter, right? It's like that. So I'm thinking that vocational training, and that can also be looked at not only as a part of money generation, but also as a part of the economy, because of course that the more you are generating money, your economy is going to become strong. So we got to talk about that to the parents and the stakeholders. So then, you know, they take the gamut and take everybody along with them, Pavan. Then it works. Doesn't work in seclusion and saying something I'm doing and I'm doing it like a hobby, or I'm doing like extra classes, I'm doing like a thing. Parents are not happy about it, because it's like jack of all trades and master of none. So I think we need to cater to that and put it very bracketed and show it to parents. And parents know when they come to see the fit, or they come to see the exhibition, or come to see this, oh, they've generated so many things. Then I tell them, I said, suppose I'm going to sell this particular product of your child in Amazon. He gets a royalty for that. So he becomes an entrepreneur as young as this. So they become excited, you know, children. And then the parents are not going to say that you're only teaching money and teaching this. It all comes together, whether it's, we're talking about financial literacy, it comes as a part of everything, you know.
Right. Sure. Thanks, ma'am. I mean, this is excellent input on, you know, how can we talk about the larger picture of why financial literacy and entrepreneurial skills are important. Sharmila, do you have anything to add to this on the parenting aspect?
Yes, so I will strongly agree with my previous panelists. See, this entrepreneurship, the skills, they are developed through education and learning of the educational institutions. Okay. And this challenges is definitely one of the best practices that children learn. This itself is a part of our learning, because nowadays we do not talk of extracurricular, co-curricular. Today CBSE says co-scholastic. So we also have implemented vocational courses last 4 years from grade 5 onwards, doing very well, where, you know, this organic farming, the simple basic electric mechanisms, you know, if suddenly the bulb has gone in my house and how to set it, I need not call an electrician. I can be independent and do it on my own. So little plumbing, you know, there are 3 months, not very structured, but there are certain projects assigned to the children. And then at the end of the year, the parents assesses them, and they come and tell us, yes, my child was good at carpentry, my child was good at plumbing, my child was good at art and craft, mask making. And what we do is we have a talent show at the end of the year, to the parents, where the child takes whichever courses they have learned, maybe only one in a year, maybe only gardening in a year, maybe art and craft with little of plumbing in a year. So the child, whatever he has learned, the child presents. They assesses themselves, and so that gives them the confidence that yes, in case I lose out on maths and science and I'm not a bright child in academics, I can excel in these skills. So that makes them sustainable. That makes them, financially stable later in their life. And so we always do it with the parents' concern. And parents are very happy about it. And, sometimes we do grade them, obviously at a lighter level, in discussion with the parents. And so the parents understand that, okay, my child in grade 5 has done this much in organic farming, so maybe next year in grade 6 she may take up organic farming and increase her skills. So not only her entrepreneurship skills are increased, it makes the child more stable financially, and parents are at ease that yes, if my child today is not a brilliant child, my child can sustain himself or herself in the world. That is what is more important today.
Right, right. Thank you, ma'am. So adding to that, Deepti ma'am, your thoughts on it, and also wanted to check with you on the personal financial management for, say, children, especially that aspect. Do you think that the parents are already feeling the need for the child to be kind of disciplined financially, or where are we standing currently on that?
Yeah. So I believe that this financial literacy and entrepreneurial skills are the need of the hour. And today's parents are very well aware of it. And parents know that schools are not the place only to impart knowledge. It is also the places to impart the life skill and other no, necessary values to the children. So now, if you look at the context of India, so if you see that India is a highly populated country where our 30% or above of the generation are youth. Okay, when these children or these people, when they come out of their schools and colleges, a big problem is waiting for them. That is employment, right? And every parent is worried about that. And we have earlier, we have very nicely told that, okay, play safe, don't take any risk. But entrepreneurship and financial literacy is all about taking risk. So that is again a very important life skill. So this is where we have to create awareness and orientation for the parents as well as to the students, wherein they should understand that these are the life skills which are required for the future generation. Because in today's world, after 20 years, when the children come out of the schools and colleges, we do not know what kind of employability is available in the society. So we are preparing the children for that. And no, so that is why I believe that in today's context, this learning of financial independence and financial literacy is very important for the child, as well as it should be understood by the parents. Because when we are dealing with very highly educated parents, even then, okay, like a larger number of parents may not be, very, very, very aware of the need of financial independence or literacy among the children. So that is a place where the awareness need to be created to all levels of the stakeholders.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, ma'am. So,
Aman, if I can just add some statistics here.
Right.
Because I think this is a global issue and not pertaining only to us, because 96% of the teenagers in the UK, reading some of these national survey reports, they say that they worry about money on a daily basis. 96% is huge. And 73% in Denmark, young adults who have little or no knowledge of interest rates.
Right.
And 52% of the teenagers in UK who have been in debt by the time they're 17. So these all raise a red flag actually. And in Canada, 63% young adults who think it's very important to learn about personal finances at a young age. So it's not a very rosy situation like globally also. So that's the reason it becomes all the more important to have it right for the years. For both parents and students.
So that need is definitely there, ma'am. Definitely that, there is a need for this financial literacy. But we spoke on, certain best practices. Now I wanted to focus on the challenges in implementing this, right? I mean, yesterday CBSE results were out, and again, we were all talking on the academics. Now, when do we celebrate, just like how the CBSE results have come? When can we celebrate that, there are so many, these many entrepreneurs are from our school, or these many financial experts are going to happen? So currently wanted to know on the challenges. So Tanuja, if at all you can share few challenges in implementing these skills.
See, I think it's a mind shift change that we are talking about. I think
Right.
we come from an era where we always look for stability, and we were told that look for a stable job and then look for
Right.
a kind of a secured pension policies and things like that. But now
Right.
it's like this generation has more options of careers, and then they don't have to limit themselves. So when I think in school ages, years, parents will definitely encourage whatever we come up. And just to share, actually, we had 2 students in our school where they're the first startup from the state of Telangana. And they've got an 8 lakhs funding from the minister also.
Right.
And what they're doing is upskilling the digital literacy, and they imparting it in government schools. So
Right.
when they start something like this, and school also can support, and as long as it goes, parents also have no worry. But then
Right.
going forward, if we say undoubtedly, I think it's parents look for grades, parents look for,
Yeah.
and then when we talk about when we tell teachers also for the integration and all that, I think we only have to do this without any expectation. Integrate the process, which is an ongoing one. And
Right.
the outcome is going to be measured in the long run,
Yeah. Correct.
because it's a mindset
Absolutely.
change that we are working to.
So since the outcome is going to be long run, definitely the immediate results the parents cannot see, and there might be certain expectations mismatch on this.
But sure, parents, when we involve them, when we make them partner with students in all the activities, they definitely will encourage them.
Right.
That is that
Uh,
what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Usha ma'am, I mean, when we kind of try to democratize this at a very larger scale, definitely the role of teacher is really important, because end of the
It
teachers
plays a
cannot do
major role.
things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
teachers play a major role. They're the major stakeholders.
Yes.
Like that is how it is. And
Yes.
so it's very important to train them into it also. They cannot
Yeah.
just randomly take this as a young entrepreneur program we're running, or whether we're running
Yeah.
this financial literacy. It cannot be just run like that. So
Correct.
we have put in a box. We have boxed it, because if we don't box it, if it unbox it, I'm saying everything is to be unstructured, but somewhere we need to structure it as well.
Yeah.
So we box it, but we have presented in such a manner, like you were talking about some time back. I just heard you saying that why can't we have a personal finance,
Management.
for the children, students, which you can start with. Yes. So that's how we started, like a personal finance club for the children, and they can start using small things like saving the money in the piggy bank. As
Right.
small as that, it starts with that. And then, you can gradually tell them, because the stock exchange and all, it's not only for adults, it can also be for small children. There are trade games which can be introduced at a very young age. So
Right.
we do have a lot of these kind of financial games,
Right.
the board games, which we
Right.
use in the classroom. We also use it as a kind of a thing when children are disturbing us, when they finish the work. So we have a kind of a corner where we put these games, and they engage themselves, and they forget that they have to make noise. So
Right.
they use it as a part of the math class, or math part of the science, because it's an integrated program. So we do that. And so what happens in personal finance club, or whatever we have called it, or personal finance, this thing which we have created for each child. So they
Right.
all know that, they have to budget, they have to do this, they get involved in the older students, they do get involved in the school budgeting as well. So
Right.
the student council is there in our school, and we have made a few students be part of this to plan the budget. So they know that, the school is incurring so much expenditure in investing. They should not think it's only a part of the management as only keep doing this and creating facilities. Then,
Right.
the parents also take you for granted. children also take you for granted. But here it is not like this. My children explain to parents like every brick costs 140 rupees in my school. Sustainable, but it's expensive. I tell them be part of that. So they said,
Right.
oh, you're going to make a bamboo thing roofing. So bamboo will be cheaper. I said, no, bamboo is coming from Assam. So it's
Right.
not cheap. So it's like that. So we involve children even in the structure of the school. And we say it's no cement school, but we're using gypsum, but gypsum is expensive. It is not
Right.
manufactured here. So every student knows about it. It's important to involve them in every way, whether it's budgeting, it's like debt, whatever we are doing. Yes, we have got a governing council, we have got a governing board as well as everybody, but these parents are always there only to create problems in many schools. Unfortunately, it's like that in many schools, but fortunately enough for us, the parents understand the problems. They
Right.
know that, they're going through this. So how can we help them, And then that's how we sometimes have to raise funds for certain events. And that's where they come ahead. Like for my smaller campus, we have every year, we have this Independence Day when it's a fundraising campaign. It's
Okay.
not for school fundraising, but it's for the community. We have also adopted Anganwadis and Balwadis. So
Right.
it's not only spending for ourselves, it's also spending for them, taking them as well along with us. So it's a
Okay.
community we're taking along with them. So parents also come forward. They donate, they come forward, they spend money, and they also cook. They make the stalls, whatever they do. And when they raise funds like with a fit and we spend money for this Anganwadis and Balwadis, they also come along with us. It's not
Right.
a charity alone just to give money and done away with it. We also making their toilets, we are donating sustainable tables and chairs for them and stuff like this. So children are happy doing this. Parents
Right.
are happy doing this. So, but then we have to, as you are a company, Pawan,
Yeah.
you need to come up with a personal finance. My suggestion is that
Right.
personal finance, something like a personal finance for each child to maintain something like this. Under that, you can have certain kind of topics which could be covered, which could be like stock. It could be stock in a very small fashion, not the way
Yeah. Yeah.
we do stock exchange and stuff like this. And can also be like debt management, small way, like if you have given 10 rupees, you are spending about 6 rupees. Are you trying to save 4 rupees?
Right.
Teaching them saving at a very young age.
Yes.
Then they know subtraction and addition, they anyway know in grade 1 and grade 2. So that's how we can introduce that and we can create that. And that can lead to an entrepreneurship later.
Correct.
We do not know. We are creating a kind of childhood with all kind of exposures. So
Yes.
probably that will lead to them to do something in their lives. That's how we also become entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
Because that is self-entrepreneurship.
That
To
is
be self-driven, rather. Nobody
right.
is driven, but here we are trying to support them. And
Right.
what we also do for the children is we also tell them that if you do very good, then you can earn scholarships. That's what we do in our school. We have
Right.
something called Sampurna Vidya Scholarship. So they can earn, there as well. So parents know about it. Like if they do very well in certain subjects and they do very well in sports, very well in art, it's not only academics, it's
Right.
all over. Like it can be any kind of talent which child has. So
Right.
it can win them scholarships. So we don't call it as money there again, right? Scholarships, because the fees is a pinch in the pockets of parents.
Right.
So if they win scholarships, it becomes like an added advantage for them. So
Right.
that is how we have incorporated everything together. Pawan.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent, ma'am. I mean, we should visit your school once for sure. And Sharmila ma'am, so wanted to know, like when we spoke about, say, democratizing the skills at a very larger extent, Usha ma'am said that yes, teachers play a very important role here. But what could be the incentive for the teacher, right? Because we are teaching financial literacy for children, but what will be the financial benefits for also the teachers in this case? Because unless there is a win-win situation for all, definitely the model cannot be scalable here. So how do we keep the teachers motivated for them to get financial literacy and still pass it on to the students? Because I see a big challenge there.
Say it's a little contradictory that you have talked about. So what happens is, see, all the work that the students are doing is within their school time hours.
Yeah.
And even the same for their teachers. Yes, what we do is whichever teachers we assign to the children, they are trained like entrepreneurship. They're trained on that. So we have subject experts, like since Global Indian International School is a global school, so they are trained from Singapore. Our teachers are trained from Singapore, whether it is a vocational course, whether it is a financial literacy, or whether it is a entrepreneurship.
Right.
Every class teacher is trained on that, the basic training.
Right.
Other than the finance teacher and the accounts teacher, and the PDL, the personality and development skills teachers. So every class teacher is trained on that, and so the training itself is an additional bonus for a teacher. That's
Right.
what I think. And what is very important is the motivation for the teachers, which we as leaders, we play a very, very important role. So
Right.
teachers also gets to learn. So when I was a teacher 25 years back, and what I am teaching today is much different. So in
Right.
COVID time, teachers picked up all the technological benefits available in the world, and they did the best job. So similarly, all the teachers should be trained. That is what is very important. That itself acts as an incentive for them, and they are, upgrading themselves to the latest technologies, to the latest requirements of the school needs, the education system needs today.
Yeah.
Yes, what we do follow in our school is there are certain after-school programs,
Okay.
and our internal teachers sometimes are involved in these after-school programs, and they are paid extra on a pro rata basis. It's not all of them are involved. There are a few handpicked. Let's say the art and craft, there are 3 art and craft teachers. So whoever is a young one, motivator, and can spend some extra time in the school, so that teacher is handpicked and teach the children mask making or a beautiful vase decoration. And that the children, we do some exhibitions where children sell these products. So the incentive for the teacher is, yes, since the teacher is staying back after some time, we do pay them on a pro rata basis. So first of all, the training is very important, and the motivation for the teacher, that is very, very important. The leader plays an important role to motivate them. And teaching itself is a noble profession, and there are teachers who takes on these responsibilities to stay back, spend time with the children, make them more skilled, because that's their satisfaction. Not all of them, but there are many in the schools who love that. And so where, every time they don't expect a payment, but they do expect, that yes, the recognition, the appreciation, a certificate at the end of the year or at the end of the term, when they have contributed a lot for the children, which we do. We do give them a star award or the extra mile award teacher. So those are that certificate itself is of a greater value to them than the money.
Right.
So that's
Right.
how I think we can compensate to teachers.
Sure.
Pavan, can I do that?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah. See, what we do is it's a zero energy, zero carbon, and zero waste school. My school is, and we have the recycle, reject, and reuse. That is a concept what we have for certain things for children as well. When they make projects and stuff like this. So what we do is, whatever they're throwing it away, they have to bring it back to school, the bottles and stuff like this. Even the spaces they design in my school, the children are involved in designing spaces. So when we involve teachers in that and saying that you encourage the kids in bringing that, so they get, the students, in fact, they win money, they bring bottles and they recycle it and they do the things, and then we tell them that it can be converted to points. Points is nothing but they can pick up things like which they make, like which is worth some money. So similarly for teachers also, we encourage them by that way only, by zero energy, zero carbon. The more, because right now I'm working with a project with a UNESCO company called the Green Mentors. And with this Green Mentors, those people have said that I can create credit points. And these credits could be actually given to the companies like Infosys or like Wipro. They buy the carbon credits. So these carbon credits are created by my students. So these carbon credits, for example, I reduce about so many tons of carbon emission in my school through certain activities, the green activities. So my teachers are involved in that. So teachers are getting remunerated for it, not by me, but by the companies. The companies actually buy the carbon credits and actually support the students' fees, which parents are happy, which I'm starting this year. And the students, teachers are going to get benefited because the teachers are going to be remunerated.
Right.
Remuneration. So this is how we're creating it. I think we can do a lot of things in the green field, and that's where the environment jobs are going to be created, Pavan, tomorrow.
Right.
Jobs are going to be very.
So there is micro entrepreneurial activities that are already happening for the teachers.
Absolutely.
And in fact, in the last episode also, we were talking about why can't we give equal entrepreneurial opportunities for the teachers. In fact, we've done something called as Hyderabad Today Conclave in collaboration with Pallavi and also DPS groups in Hyderabad. There also, one topic has come on, why can't we create, always we're talking about financial literacy for children, entrepreneurship for children.
Nothing for teachers. That's
right.
all.
For teachers, if at all we do that, I think that will be great. Tanuja ma'am, I'll also take your suggestions on that. But before that, Deepthi ma'am, if at all any suggestion from your end on how do we keep the learners and the teachers motivated in imparting these skills?
Yeah. So as we were discussing with the challenges which we are facing, so
Right.
in continuation with, I would have some points to tell.
Yes.
And as initially I have mentioned that there is no pedagogical standards to teach the financial literacy which is available for our teachers.
Right.
So that is the place where we have to upskill our teachers. More and more trainings are given on a yearly basis, and teachers are getting upskilled. But at the same time, the teachers are not the be all and end all for everything. When it comes to a higher level of projects for the secondary school or senior secondary school students, they need expert advices sometimes from the industrialist or maybe from people from the cottage industries, right? Which we have called into the school. That is why I'm telling that. So sometimes from the universities or the management people or such entrepreneurs, they come and share their success stories, and that becomes a motivation for the teachers as well as the students, because they talk about the failures, how they how they have taken the risk, and what helped them in persevering the things, and this becomes a motivation. So availability of the experts is sometimes as a principal I have faced as a challenge, because that is one thing which I wanted to cite here. That is a place where, as Usha ma'am was telling, as BrightCHAMPS and other such NGOs and organizations can pitch in and help the schools in these type of ventures, wherein our teachers and students and parent community as well will get more and more ideas, because entrepreneurship is always about ideation, idea creation, new ideas, because they should get the lots and lots of exposures. Only then the idea creation, what is next, will come. Okay. So that is where I feel that is one step, one thing which I wanted to tell it here. That is the thing. So what was the next question, Mr. Pawan?
So just talking about, how can we keep everyone motivated here, right? I mean, the teachers or the students. So we have already heard, we've heard from the previous panel. So if at all you have any.
Yes, we have a program, have monthly felicitations. So, so every month we felicitate basically our avid readers, storytellers, and now we have started felicitating our entrepreneur students also. That I initially in the conversation I have told at the beginning of the year, when the school reopens, we are going to felicitate our entrepreneur students and the teachers who have worked along with the children in front of this as a school assembly, and that definitely becomes a motivation for the children. And also next step is that calling the expert from the industries to interact with the children. That is again a motivation. Again, I'm looking for the collaboration with the neighboring schools. Samsat itself has 17 schools all over India, and it is easy for us to collaborate within our school system. But I would like to, now we have 4 schools, and I know that Tanuja ma'am from Hyderabad. So why don't we collaborate and bring in our faculties, and faculty exchange programs can be done. Now everything is possible online even. Our teachers need to travel. We can have a given expert talk from Tanuja ma'am schools to some group of schools, or from our school to Tanuja ma'am schools, or to any other schools. So this will also will be a great help in terms of idea generation and various other things.
Right. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Oh, understood.
Dipti, no?
Yes,
We are
yes.
planning to do that. In fact, we are doing the cluster school kind of a thing, which
Yes.
Pavan doesn't know. I haven't discussed that last.
Yeah.
But we are planning to do that. We are planning to call them and work on the hydroponic farm of ours, because all school doesn't have hydroponic farms, and they do not know how the water can be generated from the air, because our school has got carbon panels, and water can be generated from the air because that's a paddle water generation instead of groundwater. So these things children can watch, and they can be the brand ambassadors for tomorrow's greener planet. So we're
Yeah.
planning to do that, Deepti. So we
That's
don't mind inviting your school to Hyderabad.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
very interesting. In fact, Sharmila ma'am, I think you should also introduce something on the global exchange program now, because you have good presence outside India as
We are
well.
also green. We are a smart school, and we are a green school certified.
Right,
Green
right.
school.
Right.
So, yes,
So,
yes.
just to sum up, we discussed on very interesting dimensions. One is we discussed on why financial literacy and entrepreneurial education. And then we asked about how can the parents be more aware about these programs and how can they understand the importance of this. And then we spoke on the learning assessments. Can we kind of grade it? How do we keep the child motivated? How do we keep the teachers motivated? How do we scale this entire financial literacy as a good skill, financial literacy and entrepreneurship as a skills for many schools like this. And then we spoke about few challenges that we're all facing, but I think we have addressed the solutions also to the challenges. That is one interesting thing, that we have the solutions for this. And finally, we spoke about how can we create a culture amongst the schools itself. We spoke about several exchange programs that can be done. That is one thing interesting. So to conclude, Tanuja ma'am, in your final words, one best practice from your side, and what is your suggestion to the parents and also the students in taking this financial literacy on a very serious note?
Pawan, I strongly feel that we're all working towards providing that environment, a culture in school where, we give the right ecosystem to students to experiment, to ideate. It's okay to make mistakes. We should be willing to respect every idea that comes from children.
Right.
Give them enough resources, give them enough mentors, and be there to listen to them and be with them in that journey. And I'm sure the day is not far. We're going to see a lot of startups from
Right.
schools. And, these are going to be solutions for their everyday problems that they are going to see. And
Right.
generation is going to impact
Right.
larger, the entire globe. Just to, one example where we had one child who made a glove for physiotherapy because his grandmother was a paralytic patient. So I think that's how children are coming forward.
Right.
We should just be present there, provide them enough resources,
Right.
and then
Right.
be there with them in the journey.
Right. And just to close it, especially there we have three of the panelists from Bangalore itself today, and the results are also trying, here coming out. Wanted to know any support from the government that we have already got for the schools in terms of the financial literacy, or any accreditations or certifications that are already there out in the market, so that rest of them will also get to know through this, or any support that we are looking from the government here.
I'm looking for a support from government because mine is solar school. And when I put a Niti Aayog and said that I want more solar panels I'm not saying give it free to me, because
Right.
as a private institution, at least they
Right.
can give a subsidized solar panels to us, which has not happened. And when we talk about STEM, being a STEM school, they should be very happy. We're creating
Right.
more scientists which are integrated the way we are doing it and all. We have an incubation center, in fact. So
Right.
they can come ahead. Atal Lab, I heard that Niti Aayog sets up Atal Lab. We have
Yeah.
applied for it, but they said, no, you need to have this, that, this certification, all that stuff. By the time I only set up my own Atal Lab, I think, instead of the government. So the government support is not coming to private schools. They just want us to say, okay, are you doing RT? Are you doing this? We only have to oblige the government. The government has to come ahead. And when they're so happy saying that because our school buses are all CNG buses, we don't use any fuels and all that stuff. They should be happy that schools like ours, which trying to save energy, they should come ahead to help us. And that's where I think I need the government support. And which you're not getting. Nothing to do with your financial literacy, but
Right.
this is what it is. And one more thing which I want to add up to this, Pawan. Parents want the challenges which you said to it. I just want to add to that. Parents want everything free. They don't want to pay for anything. So even if you're going to pitch in for anything to be incorporated to school, it has to be part of the school. School has to pay for it and take up your program. It's like that. They
Right.
want everything to be included in the fees. Once in the beginning, they pay the fees. They don't want to pay anything, even 5 rupees extra later.
Right.
It's like that. So they
Right.
want kitna dega school. It's like
Right.
that nowadays.
Right.
It's not
Right.
like that before. Parents are very happy if you introduce anything. Nowadays, parents want everything, but can you all compile everything and make it this much of package and give me this? I'm not talking about the schools which is all established. They don't have this problem. People like us or new schools, oh, your progressive school, fine. All that is very, very nice. But can you have packages? Give me everything together. We don't want to pay anything extra. So we need to be up for that. Any new schools coming up, they want to do something new, something innovative, very good, but you can't charge anything extra from the parents. So
Right.
that is the biggest challenge which we have as far as the money is concerned, the fees is
Right.
concerned.
Yeah, so I can add on to it. I agree with Ms. Usha. See, government has to come forward. We have approached the government for a lot of projects which the school has taken up, because you cannot ask the parents for a money. And
Right.
it's not always possible for the school management to bear all the costs which the students will do. So we wanted to do a lot of community outreach programs where there were some cost involved. We have done it. Finally, school management has agreed to bear the cost, and we have done it. But we didn't get. So I think government should come up, because India is doing so well in entrepreneurship. India promotes entrepreneurship, I should say. So when we are talking of this project, especially green school, green energy, ma'am was talking of solar panel, at least this environmental activities, almost many schools are doing, all schools are doing. At least here, there should be some government funding, some government, scholarships given to students who are carrying out these activities. I think that's the need of the hour, because everything, we cannot tell the parents to pay, because parents bearing the tuition fees and all, and for the private schools, always the fees are on the higher side. So
Right.
parents doesn't want to spend a single penny. But parents expect a lot from the schools, especially the entrepreneurship programs, financial literacy programs. We do bring in experts. We do bring in ESG certified environmentalists who come and address our students. These are all, expense borne, bringing that person outstation,
Right.
their charges and all, but difficult to get, convince government and get any help. So I think that's a big challenge most of the private schools are facing.
Right. Interesting. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. I think a lot of challenges, but I think slowly we are getting there. I'm sure the awareness should be there, and also more awareness from the government side also should be there. And definitely, we as BrightCHAMPS also trying to bring in more awareness to the parents through the programs of ours. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining on a Saturday morning and sharing your valuable insights. Looking forward to meeting you all in person, and also definitely a lot to learn from you all. Thank you so much.
It was lovely meeting Tanuja and
Yeah.
Sharmila ma'am and
Yes,
Deepti.
meeting all of you. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you,
wonderful.
Pawan. I think we really had a time, and then, nice connecting with all of you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Pawan.
Thank you so much, Pawan,
Virtual
and nice to
namaste.
connect with all of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.